Hey everybody. So we just completed the Olympics, the finale, the gold medal game, Canada versus USA, what everyone wanted. Everybody was hoping for it, and that's what they got, and it delivered. It was an excellent game, a fantastic game. Canada really, after a slow start, they really dominated the play, but Hellebuck, the USA goalie, played outstanding, lights out, the game of his lifetime. And as we know, the USA, they won. Jack Hughes, nice Jewish boy, scored in overtime and took the gold. So people came up to me, a bunch of people who know me came up to me and said, so who were you rooting for? Or who were you rooting for? USA or Canada? See, I grew up in Canada, but I've lived here in the US a very, very long time. But I was rooting for Canada. I was rooting for Canada. And in a certain sense, that does not make sense if you just look at the chronology of my life. See, I was born in 1960. I left Canada in 1979, went to Israel to Aish. And let's say for the first 6 years, I wasn't a hockey fan. I wasn't much of a fan of anything. What do you remember until you're 5 or 6? So basically from the age of 6 to when I left at almost 19, so do the math, 13 years, I'm in Canada following hockey. I go to Israel. I didn't follow it much over there. It wasn't the day and age of you could just go online and see what's going on. Really disconnected from things going on in the United States or Canada. Then I came here to South Florida in 1989 and have lived here ever since. And followed hockey again once I got here, and especially once Florida got their own team. But I've been here in the States so many more years than I've been in Canada. So why was I rooting for Canada? Because the stuff that you get, the things that you grow up with as a child, they're in your guts. They're in your bones. As a little kid, playing hockey on the street after school, Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, all those things growing up in Canada as a kid that were focused around hockey in the society, I can't shake that. And even though I've spent way more years here in the United States of America, and I have dual citizenship, and I'm a proud American, and I vote, I was still rooting for Canada. Because as a kid, it's in your guts, it's in your bones. Important lesson that we Jews need to take from this. We're coming up to the holiday of Purim. We're coming up to the holiday of Pesach. You want your kids to really, really feel connected to being Jewish? That'll last them for a lifetime? Get it in their bones while they're children. And Purim and Pesach are probably one of the best examples and opportunities to do that. Purim is so upbeat, happy, carnival, masks, parties. It's a fantastic holiday. Pesach, we know so much of the Seder focuses around piquing the interest of kids. And so Judaism recognized from day one that the best way to keep Jews Jews is to make sure you teach them and give them fantastic experiences, especially when they're young. And that happens at the home, and it happens in school, it happens in camp, but primarily in the home. That's where it's created, and as well, a society around us. You want to make sure we have strong Jews for the future. It starts when they're very, very, very young, from get-go. The Gemara teaches us that when you teach a young person, it compares teaching a young person Torah or anything versus teaching an older person. It could be Torah, it could be tennis, it could be learning a new language. When you learn something when you're very, very young, the Gemara says, the Talmud says, it's like writing on a white sheet of paper. It's fresh, it's new, it's there and it'll be there forever. You teach an older person, it's like rubbing something out and then writing over it. It's still there, it's still good, but it doesn't have the same impression and impact as if you taught someone when they were very, very young. We know, like I said, we know that's true. Torah, tennis, language, anything. So that is the opportunities of Purim, Pesach, Sukkot, so much Shabbat, so much of Torah and Judaism is to give positive, wonderful experiences to young children that they can have that for the rest of their lives. Do I feel okay that the United States won the gold medal? Sure, of course. It's good. You get something later on in life, it's still good. Especially because a nice Jewish boy won in overtime. Would have I felt better if Canada won? I have to admit, I would have. 2030 in France. We'll see you for a rematch. Have a good Shabbat.